Hey, everybody, 1 second and we'll get to it. Let me give you your fancy opening and then we'll do it. Hey guys, let me see if I can keep this window open. I'm gonna throw it off. Does that throw everything off? You know, that's gonna have to do it, I think. Maybe we'll turn it that way just a little, get rid of the door in the background more black. That might work. That works. It's crooked though. Well, this is what you get. I don't know what to tell you. This is what we got this morning. I might as well just do it because it's sitting right here. If I look at Rivian, I know a lot of guys are looking at it. Just be aware of that peak VWAP before we go any further. I think that's super important. If we go through some of this other stuff, let's go take a look at the ES and get to it here. And I think what we're going to do is just go to this and start over. Oh, let me go take a look at this. Did they open that fold yet? Yeah, they opened it 14. So fold's going to get bought. This stuff always. Take a look at this. 1450. How low did you go? 1403. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it here. I mean, maybe like where are you going to go? 1450. What's that going to get you? Like 2.5%. I don't know if it's worth it or not. Depends when the deal closes. You know, it really depends when the deal closes, I guess. But 1450, this thing's getting bought at. I'm probably not going to do it at 1415. It's only like 2.5%, unless it's closing in like 30 days or something. Then it would make sense. Other than that, no, it's not going to really make a whole heck of a lot of sense. But I think that's interesting. I mean, at least you know that that's going on. But I don't really think that that's like, you know, I don't think it's really worth it here for 35 cents. I mean, I guess it depends on how fast it closes. So I'm going to have to look at that, trying to figure out how fast that closes. But it might be worth paying attention to. I want to do the ES. I got a lot going on here today. All right, Jesus, that's aggressive. How's the photo? It's fine, but it's like, I think there's too much glare because of the, that's fine. You're fine. We're just going to go with it. I sound worse than I feel, actually, which I guess is good. Oh wow, the guy that shot the Brown that Brown University, he's also responsible. They're thinking for that MIT shooting. Oh, that's crazy. Let's clean all this off. That's so sad. Way to bring down the room, dude. Hold on. All right, so let's just start it over so we remember how we did it, right? So we get a little learning this morning. Yay, learning. And you can see we held it again right there. So we held it again right there, which I think is really important. I don't think there's really much more to say about it. I don't see you have a chance, and I don't know what to say. I'm trying to get the filter back, but I don't know how you think you're getting through 6,900 anytime soon. Like I don't see that happening. They are just systematic. That's just systematic selling from, you know, point A to point B, where they're just playing ping pong with us, right? That's all they're really doing. And so, you know, there's not really a whole hell of a lot to say there. I mean, you guys can see that. So, you know, it's not really rocket science what's going on there. I mean, it's like, it's kind of crazy really, but you can see the differences, and they're just bonking us around. I don't really think there's much more to say about it. I don't think that you're going to break the low end today unless you get, you know, more selling for some reason. And I don't think that's coming. If we dive into that on a 5-minute, you know, I don't know really what's going to move the market. I don't believe that we have anything that could really move us today on the, you know, economic calendar. You know, existing home sales and consumer sentiment, they'll watch it. But after CPI yesterday, you know, we'll have to see how this works. But I don't know. Let's just get to it here. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think there's much to do there. I don't see it. I really don't. I don't see what the big hubbub is. I mean, it's so technical. It's crazy. Like how perfect this technical is. It's like so perfect. So again, I don't really see the sense in doing much with it. Let's go to the NQ, get there and do that. And I'm going to clean it all off again so that you can see it. This is super interesting to me. I just see one thing. Let's get back to this. A lot of news coming out all of a sudden. All right. And then it kind of wedged in. Not really much to do or say. I just don't see the whole. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's not good. I just don't know that you're going to break it, but it sure feels that way. You started the other day. We go back to our little points of interest, rejection right here. Same area. God, I don't know what's going to get you through all that. I mean, that's really like, there's a lot going on up there, like a lot. So I'm not so sure that, this is peak and two major lows. So I just don't know what's going to get you through that 25.5. I love that these numbers are so even. It just makes life so easy. But that's 89 basis points. And what you'd really do with that is just put an alert there. In case you did, you'd probably want to know that, like that you did get through it. But I don't know why I saved that. It doesn't really matter. As far as like news and names, I got a ton to go over, but maybe I'm better off just taking questions because I think you guys are going to probably do it yourselves. Let's see this thing. I think that's super interesting. I think the MSOS sell-off was super interesting yesterday. So you're forming some kind of agreement with SMR. Well, you got all the way back down to 15. Jesus, they just smoked these things. Now these things are in so much trouble. These things are hanging on by the fingernails. Hopefully they run this again. Let's go back to this white fiber. I don't know if that's going to be enough to really get that thing going. Let's take a look. Maybe. Maybe. Let's take questions. I think we're better off going there because there's so much that I could cover. It's not even funny. I will say you're going to note that you're going to have really light volume for the rest of the year across the board. What's up, Albino? Nah, no one cares. No one really cares what Bank of Japan's doing. I mean, maybe MUFG cared. Like maybe. Yeah, they don't even care. Like it's not like if we all know it's the thing that we're supposed to watch, nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like if it's the thing that we're all supposed to watch, no one cares. Like you're supposed to know about the thing that nobody knows about. And that's what you're supposed to watch. When everybody's watching the same thing, nobody cares. It's pretty textbook stuff. Like everyone was so worried about this thing. So, you know, I don't know. That's so interesting. Give me 1 second here. No, I don't think it's anything that we'd have to even remotely concern ourselves with. I really don't. I just don't. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything there. I don't see it, Albino. Like I don't see why I would care about this, like at all. Like not even a little bit. You know, overseas in Asia, I think the larger move is like, can Nike even get up off the ground? Like the FedEx sales were just awful. That's why this is finally sinking. When people really started to get this, you know, it's always something, you know, it's a thing that you never think it's going to be. But when their sales fell off, like when you start going through their sales to China's like, I don't know if they have a moratorium on us, but they certainly are not crazy about buying US stuff right now. So for whatever that's worth. And FedEx, like that was bad. You know, it was really bad. And Nike was like, I mean, they were so off on sales. See, I think this bounces when they come and cover the puts and then you short it. But I could be wrong. But they were so off on sales in China. Like they were way off, like multiple, like 60, 70% off. Like it was crazy how off they were. So I think that's the bigger issue with Asia, Albino. Hope you have a good holiday. What's up, John? Yeah, I think that you have to look at this stuff as like, I think when you start looking at this stuff like crowd and some of this other stuff and going, like, do I want to get involved with this? I mean, left, head, right. No, you know, I'd rather no, like just no. When you start looking at this stuff and what it is, like this is super fascinating. This very particular pattern I like if you have patience, and you're going to see it everywhere. Like you're starting to see this pattern everywhere. Here it is with snow. Here it is with AVGO, right? Like the one thing I can tell you is a pattern. I'm really good at patterns and pattern recognition just from seeing it. So like, and then I'll remember where the others are. But that's like when you're hitting this level over and over and over again, it's going to take something to get you to crack, right? Pop goes the weasel, weasel goes pop. So it's going to take you something to get that to crack. So, but am I out there going, you know what I need? I need more exposure to cloud. No, I'm wondering if the OpenAI investment is going to be a disaster. The private, because they're trying to raise money at an $800 billion valuation. To be clear, this is a company that's doing $12 billion a year. So they're a private company that wants to raise money at like 40 times revenue. So I think the bubble's in private equity, personally. And I don't think it's in all of them, but it's definitely OpenAI. I think you're crazy to be buying that for that amount of money, like absolutely crazy. You know, and I'm happy that those guys are killing it. Like I'm happy for their success, but that's going to be a real issue for the people that own that. I guess the larger issue is I don't know that I'd be buying anything until this changes, John. Like this is like my entire view of the world. And it served me well after getting my butt kicked, right? So if I clean this up and see how we can't get over, John, like if I can't get over the 55, because everything I do is top down, because I realize that I don't move the markets, institutions do, right? So everything for me is index and then it's sector. That might be my coffee. And if it is, we're going to go get it. Index sector stock. Index sector stock. So like if the index cannot get above the 55, I can trade them around, but I can't lift the market. So I have to then go. And so what I tend to do is then trade special situation names in tech until that fixes itself. So broad-based buying of tech for me just goes on, you know, complete like hold until that is. Give me 1 second. This makes sense to me. And a lot of their sales are in Asia and they're killing it over there, apparently, which is very different. I guess the ladies don't care about like, they're just like, whatever works. Versus like guys like, I'm not buying that Nike shirt. We're going to buy a China shirt, you know, or whatever. But like for their makeup, they're like, nah, we're buying Estee Lauder. But you could see like, yeah, I get that. Like that trade makes sense to me. Especially when you have your little undercut here, if you take that out, because your trade's so simple. It's like, if you break that, then you just get the hell out of the way. Excuse my language. You just get out of the way. Give me a second. I want to see if my coffee's here because everyone will benefit from me having coffee. I got to check my little order. It says it's here. Hold on 1 second. Oh, nectar of the gods. Nothing worse than making coffee yourself in the morning and then realizing it's decaf. I don't think there's anything worse than that. So that's really how I see that. If I was to do that, so then I might look at volume there. And I do think that looking at like the retail space is the right move. When I go through it, I mean, I don't have anything that looks like that good, like anything like that. Like that, you know, like retail looks really freaking good. This thing's not going to be able to hold at all, man. They're trying their butt off and they just can't hold it like at all. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to get involved until the bounce. I shorted it last night and then I covered it because I didn't want the risk overnight. But man, this thing's just going to be such a pig. I think the FTX is really going to screw people because they're not even going to understand why it's down. I didn't understand it until I went through the whole damn balance sheet or financial statements. I should say it that way. I think that's really going to screw with people. So AMD's a pig. Yeah, please hit the like button. Helps greatly with the algorithm. The Oracle news is absolutely unequivocally huge. I am really surprised it's not up more. I really am. I think it should be up way more than it is. That's my opinion. It should be up way more than it is. But I don't think people fully understand what's going to happen. And my hope is that they smoke it. That's my real hope. That they're like, oh, this is my chance to get out. Fine by me. They're my levels. They're my bigger levels if you want to just mark them off. It's absolutely huge news. They have a complete revenue source that is not factored into anything. The reason the stock's dropping is CDSs, and the CDSs now are probably going to lose their value. So I think that's very important for people to get. And you got to deal with the slurping today. Good morning from New York. What's up, Kevin? You got a new symbol. You got a different symbol, Kevin. You throw me off. Good morning from Miami. I looked at going up there, and then I looked at the weather, and then I just started laughing. I don't know, man. I think there's better names. I'd be real careful of this, bro. I'd be really careful of anything sitting there. Like, what's going to get you there and get you through that? I just don't have an answer to that. I don't know what's going to get you through that. I really don't. I don't know why I would be in a hurry for that. What's up, Jay? So I can't buy this company. I actually think that this thing is finally cracked. I've been shorting it forever. It's been a really tough short. I wasn't taking advantage of it here. I didn't really do it, but that was the real break. I really think it's toast. I don't think a lot of people want their kids on it anymore after you watch everything. And I think you're going to like 73. So I think you're going there pretty quickly. 76, is that it? 76, 86. Lam Research, these names, all you're getting is more good news for the semiconductor equipment guys. That's all you're getting. That's really all you've gotten, even with Micron's earnings, right? That's all you really had, because Micron came out and said, we're going to expand CapEx. So none of that's in there either, right? So what we really want to focus on here, from my standpoint, is like these names. Like, I hope they get smoked again. But I don't know that they're going to. So I really think that they're the names to play with in semis. But this is what you're dealing with, bro. And let me show it to you. So higher, right? Low, bonk, bonk, bonk. Like, you don't want to play with this. Like, this is the thing I keep saying to people and they laugh at me when I say it, but they draw little figures of me, put my head on Elmo with all the fire behind him. But like, I just let it all burn, man. Like, why do you need to be first? Like, what's the hurry? Like, rocking horses are busy. They don't go anywhere. So just let it all burn. And I don't know that what's the catalyst? Like when people are out there, like I own Bitcoin, right? Like here's a great example. Like I own Bitcoin and I'm looking at this going, maybe it breaks, maybe it doesn't. But even if it doesn't break, where am I going? Nowhere. Like there's no impetus here where I have to scale into this here, right? So I don't have anything like that. So either way, I'm right in just waiting until we get some kind of impetus where the money or the trend changes. Like if the trend was like this, then I'd be like, okay, well, you're trending up or you have some kind of trend. You don't have that here. You've got a complete breakdown. And so like here, you're starting to get a complete breakdown of the market. And the thing that I really want to like, I'll hammer home a little bit, Jay, is see how these peaks are like off like this? Like that's vicious stuff if it cracks. And so what does a crack look like? Well, a crack's like to here, right? So, and we've already tested that. So the idea of getting down to there again, man, that's just a Tuesday. Like that's nothing for this thing to come in. And these names will get smoked. Like we'll get like Netflix or we'll get like Nvidia 140, 150. Like it'll be a great day for long-term buyers. Like I'm literally chomping at the bit at it for it to happen. So, we'll see. But I think some of that stuff when you have patience and you're a longer term kind of dude, because I have all the different, like I compartmentalize how I trade. Like I can't wait to get back involved in this. I'm going to buy it 100 points cheaper. Like, okay, like cool. But I have a different outlook with it. So it depends on your outlook, with it to me. TPL was like was the most aggressive name out there yesterday. As far as people getting in that they have not been in a period of time. I have a scan like what is the names that people were not paying attention to that they are now paying the most attention to. It's kind of like a weird scan I created. Yesterday it was TPL. So yeah, I mean, are people starting to realize that they might need this stuff? I don't know. It's not really perfect for me. You know what no one's bringing up? I'll throw this at you. No one's talking about this. And maybe, maybe you don't want to, but that's okay. But I'm going to talk about it for you. Why is no one talking about this? No one's asking me about it. Everyone's like over it. You're sitting right on the 55, right? So like if you flip that, this was the first to crack. So this would be the first to rally. There might be something to that. So, let's see. We'll see what happens with it. But I do like this. Man, that Nike is just in so much trouble. Come on up. Keep trading up. Yeah, but no one's asking about that. I thought that was interesting. What time is it? All right, cool. Starting at 8:15, I got a lot more time. I don't really view it as a good thing. I think gold's getting ready to rip people's faces off. What's up, Ed? Oh, you're welcome, James. What's up, Journal? Yep, I am finally. Thanks. What's up, Richard? Corf. Corf to you. Is that a name? I don't know. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't know. What are you doing to me here? You're screwing around with me today. I mean, I want to buy it, but I love myself, so I'm not going to. So, I mean, you really need to hold here, man. Let me see something. Give me 1 second, please. I was going to go look at the book for a second. You know, your pull wall's at 80. What got me was that, you see how you're holding here and you're holding here and you're holding there? I mean, you might hold here. You might hold there. I mean, ears are freaking killing me. Sorry. You're trying your butt off here, man. Say it. So look at it. So if I clean all my nonsense off for a second, right? And let's drop this to here so that we're just looking at just price. And so what we'd see is that this price is lower, right? So then we would just mark that off so that we would remember that, right? And we could even get rid of this magnet and we can even do this with it, right? And then what we'd want to do is just make sure we're right. So the very first thing to do to make sure we're right and we're not throwing in some kind of confirmation bias is to just drop a line there, right? And so when we'd see that line on the 4 hour, we'd always want to go back to that line. And then we'd want to see, is that an interesting spot for us to buy it, right? Like, does that make sense when we're this washed out? So did it make sense to buy it there? The answer would be like, well, yeah, of course it did. How about here? Yeah, in time it kind of caught, right? So you go all the way back here. Yeah, I mean, if you had time, yeah, kind of, but never really got there. You're still in that downward slope. So when we look at something like that, you know, you're really trying to figure out, and we'll drop this here, like, is that going to hold? There's a chance that holds here. I hate buying names like this because you have to have patience. I hate buying tech like this. But you also see how you're over on this from here over? Like, you're getting there. It's just a function of, do you want to risk, you know, the 75 level? Because if it cracks, then it's going to crack. But I think you're getting pretty darn washed out here. I actually like this. I'm glad I spent the time on it. I thought I saw something. I like that. I think that has the ability to be something. Happy Friday. Well, you guys, Bank of Japan, you're the cat's pajamas today, man. The questions I keep getting, Bank of Japan did this. Bro, stop it. Just stop it. This thing's just going to keep grinding, bro. Like, it just is. And they split it, right? So everybody could buy it. It's just going to keep grinding. The whole thing, people selling stocks because Japan's doing this with rates. Like, okay, we didn't know it was coming. I mean, she basically has been saying it since she got into office. Like, people are shocked. This is just going to keep grinding. Like, if you think gold's going to go higher, which it is, you think silver is going to go higher, which I think it's ahead of itself. You think copper is going to go higher, which it is. You know, what a great opportunity to buy that. You know, it was like buying FCX at a huge discount. I mean, wow, what an opportunity that was, right? So when we see stuff like this, where am I going with this? Well, what I'm getting at is, at the end of the day, I really think when you think about how it's 8:55, thank you. I really think when you think about this stuff, like, people are like, well, they don't mind this, they don't mind that. No, it's the whole thing. This is going a lot higher. And this is where I think people are kind of losing it a little bit. They're all waiting for this massive correction. And I want to get this out because it's in my head and then I'll forget. I'll probably try and touch base with it on Saturday. But they're the transports. So the transports are telling you that we're transporting goods and that those goods, you know, they're going to be on like CNI, UNP, right? So, and these all look like they're going to just continue to push, which they probably are, right? All this stuff. So, all right. it actually makes sense to buy CNI out of all of them. The more I think about it, because they're going to have more goods come in through Canada and then from Canada into the US. So, so if you think about it that way, right? And you think about like RIO, which means you need more goods and material, and they're the biggest in the world. So where does this really put you when you think about it, right? And I think that's how you need to view it. So like gold goes up, copper goes up, and so none of this, and let's wind this way back, and I'm going to get into this tomorrow. I definitely am going to get into it tomorrow. The more I'm thinking about it, I think we should. 2/3 of our GDP operating costs come from oil, despite how many people think it comes from the internets and everything. This is my thing for internets. I mean, oil's falling off a cliff. I mean, I'm out there talking about how stupid that CPI was yesterday, but someone called me out on it in the room, in our room, in our like public, where he's like, "Yeah, but gas is falling off a cliff." He's right. I always look at this stuff before CPI. He's right. Gas is falling off a cliff. These are not signs of a slowing economy. They are not signs that the manufacturing is going to fall off a cliff here. Now, does that happen later? I don't know, but they're not those kinds of signs. And I think that's super important for us to get. So while we're having the air out of the tire over here with like all the open AI stuff, and rightfully so, like it's ridiculous to think a $12 billion company is going to write a check for trillions of dollars worth of stuff. But you can let the air out of one thing and the other thing can still be good. The larger concern I have, and I'm going to have to jump here, the larger concern I have is when do the home builders, like when do the people come buying a home, when do they come back? And I'm not sure that they're going to. Deutsche Bank just raised Tesla. So that's where my head is, bro. But I think you're on the right track. I think I've made a huge mistake by not buying that, leaving alone. I wouldn't touch this. Is this the one you want, or is it this other HCC? It's Warrior Metal, right? Yeah. The coal names, so they're a beast unto themselves. I really like AMR out of them the most. This is definitely setting up. You can see the curl, and I was looking at this last night. We should have been sleeping, but I was looking at this last night. This stuff's definitely setting up. Coal's definitely up there, and definitely something that should be up there right now. So yeah, I think you're on the right page there. Happy Friday. Hi from Miami. Yay. It's nice here, isn't it? Good morning from Seattle. Did you guys win last night? I fell asleep. I think it looks really good, bro. I think uranium as a whole, there's one that's actually spot uranium. He's going to kill me because I forgot it. Is this it? Steven's going to yell. I think that this is the trade, really. This is really what I should have bought when we were doing all that winning and liberation. But that's the actual commodity itself. Yeah, it's actually a pretty big deal. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. I set that for myself, so I would be done by 9. Let's answer Monica's question, then we'll wrap it up. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. And even if they sell the stock down, I don't know that you're taking out those lows, barring some news. I think it's a really big deal. So I think you, I don't know how much you're going to be able to watch the CDS levels, but it's definitely a big deal. You have to watch that. Agreed. It's definitely good for MUFG. Yeah, because people aren't using OpenAI. That's the difference. So when you really want to see something, someone put this in the community today. Let me see if I can grab it real quick, and I'll show you the difference. There was this chart from Goldman. When the dudes grabbed it, Adam grabbed this and showed it to me today, and he's 100% right. I have other charts that will show you this. But I'm going to just grab this one because he posted in there for everybody to see. Thanks, Adam. Yay. But yeah, this is the difference, bro. This is OpenAI. And then Gemini comes up. And now people aren't, that's it. Like percentage of days, top of the arena. Like OpenAI is dead. It's Gemini. And I have a lot of different graphs that show that people are just getting away from OpenAI and they're going to these other ones. And there's no moat. Now, Claude's embedded in AWS, so there's a moat there, but there's no moat on OpenAI. You have Microsoft that's putting Claude into Excel versus OpenAI. Just think about that for a second. So yeah, there's a huge difference here. There's an enormous difference. You're not going to show me a chart where SpaceX is getting their ass kicked like that. He's going to have some, I mean, there's a huge difference between draft me a non-mean email, or I'm going to put robots with AI brains on meteors to mine them and bring back rare earth minerals. Oh, and they're also going to run data centers in space. So yeah, man, they're big difference. Was it packed? I'm just going to try to run this quick. It definitely is here, man. You're not getting any argument there. You should get in the community. There's a whole Wild West room. We all put a tinfoil hats on. It's the single best looking. Tesla's the single best looking mega chart out there, period. Period. End of story. There's not another chart that looks as good like that. There's not one that looks like that. It is a massive cup and handle. If you turn this into an enantiomer and flipped it over, like I don't even want to talk about where it's going because it's so crazy. So, but it's up there. Like you're looking at like the sevens, high sevens, 8. Thanks, bro. Have a good weekend. I'm not a big fair value gap person. I know a lot of people are. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Like, I mean, like, I don't know if anybody that's like telegraphed more of their moves. Anyone. Well, it's the same thing. It's right, dude. It's like, do you remember the recession? Like the recession was coming. If I remember this chart, like, do you remember this? And then I got to go. But do you remember this chart? Like everybody talking about this chart over and over again. We're going to go into recession. We're definitely going to go into recession. It's going to break the 1%. It's definitely going to go into recession. Okay. Like it is the dumbest thing in the world. People get a data point and they don't do any critical thinking. So we'll go from there. I don't know. I got to jump, guys. Trade to win today. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'm sure I'll see you guys next week. If not, Merry Christmas.